What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Alan Maldonado, and here we are with another episode of Mal 20 Mindset. This is a running podcast for running enthusiasts, elite runners, novice runners, and those that love supporting the runners in their lives. I got an incredible guest, an incredible runner, 6-star world major finisher, two-time Guinness Book record holder, countless challenges. I mean, has won her age group 6 times. Welcome to the show, Michelle Fleming. How you doing today? How
Hey,
you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm so excited to have you on and just pick your brain about running, man. You've
Okay.
done some incredible things. Um, Starting with the majors. Oh my God, I'm 4 out of 7. I'm running
Uh-huh.
Sydney in August, so excited to finally get to complete that journey as you've done. And I believe you're running Sydney coming up, right? I
I'm
think.
trying to get into Sydney. We're
Okay.
hoping that I'll get in as a teacher. So
Okay. Well,
if I get
listen.
in, it'll be amazing.
Listen, come on. You got to. So let's
Okay.
let's start from the beginning. Like, where did your running begin? Was it for fitness? Was it for mental? Was it what were you going through at the time? Like, what started you to say, you know what, I'm I'm going to run? And I also say this as a black runner.
Mhm.
Early on, when I first started running 10 years ago, boy, was I looked at crazy. So I
Mhm.
would love to know, how did it all start for you and how did this thing blossom?
Okay. So I first started off, I had no aspirations of being a marathoner.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
suffering from anxiety. I had
Hmm.
anxiety and it came on pretty strong and I didn't want to do the medicine route. And I'll be
Right.
honest, I'll tell anybody today, if you need to do medicine, do what you need to do to get better.
Hmm.
But for me, I wanted to do something else. And my doctor was actually a runner. And he
Mm.
made the suggestion to me to if I didn't want to do medicine, he said that, well, why don't you try walking? How much do you get out and do like exercise every day? And I'm like,
Mm.
not much at all. And he was like, well, what do you think about perhaps getting out and maybe walking 30 minutes a day and just see what it does for you? And I was like, okay, I can do that.
Right.
So I got with my best friend and I told her, I was like, Daphne, I'm going to start this journey with walking. And she was like, okay, cool. We'll do this together.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool. Well, she got on social media and she saw a group called Black Girls Run, and they
Uh-huh.
were hosting a Couch to 5K program. And she
Okay.
comes to me and she was just like, what do you think about learning how to run a 5K? And at the time, I had no idea what it was. I asked her, well, what in the world is a 5K? I thought it was 5 miles. I didn't know. Like I was really,
Right,
really good.
right, right,
I
right,
didn't know
right,
what a
right,
5K
right,
was. So what I knew
right.
is I didn't have any desire to run 5 miles back then. And so she was like, girl, no, I think it's like 3 miles. And I said, okay, well, okay, let's go check it out.
Uh-huh.
So we literally joined Black Girls Run in our local chapter
Mm.
and we did the Couch to 5K. I think we came in like week 3 and it was a 12-week program.
Okay, okay.
And so I went, and the first day we went out there, I think we started like 45 minutes of just walking.
Mhm.
And there was a young lady on the track that just ran the entire time we were there. And
Yeah.
I got kind of fixated on the fact that this girl was not
Just
stopping. She
not
was
not
just running.
Yeah,
And we were walking,
yeah.
and I saw her, and I was like, dude, she ain't stopping. Like, she
Yeah.
just continuing to go. And I stopped her when we got done. I said, how did you get to a point where you could do that? And she was like, do what? And I was like, you just ran around this track and didn't stop.
Mhm.
And she was like, I trained. And I was like, well, how do I get to that point where you're doing what you do? She said, are you a BGR? I said, yeah. She said, keep coming,
Mm.
keep coming. And I said, I remember that day I looked at her and I thought, I want to do what she's doing.
Come on.
Now, I hadn't seen a longer distance. I was new to all of it.
Right.
I didn't run track in high school. So when I saw her doing it, I was just so impressed that she could run for 40 some minutes.
Right.
And so I did the Couch to 5K program. I showed up every week. I was
Come
just
on.
that locked in. I was that locked in. Like I was serious. I want to do what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah.
we the same age, so I'm like, I know if you can
Right,
do it, I
right,
can do
right,
it
right,
too.
right.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I showed up every week, and at the end of the program for Black Girls Run, they
Mhm.
held a 5K.
Yeah.
I ran the entire 5K.
Come
I
on.
ran the 5K. And I just remember looking and seeing myself finish that 5K. And I was like, dude, I might actually enjoy this running thing.
Wow.
It stuck.
Wow. Okay, so
It
so you
stuck.
got so you got the 5K.
Right.
You knocked that out the park.
Uh-huh.
Where do you get this idea to run 26.2 though? Like a
Oh, that's a
5K, like how did you get to that level? So you got the 5K, you discovered that it wasn't 5 miles. I'm sure.
I discovered that. Yeah. I
so
discovered it.
so how did you get to this jump from 5K to 42K?
Yeah. So it was a while. It took a
Okay.
while. Like for
Okay.
me, it
Okay.
wasn't a the next year I decided I wanted to run a 10K in the next year. I started that 5K journey in 2013. I
Mhm.
didn't run my first full until 2020.
Wow.
So I did I never I just never I didn't have a goal to run a full. So everything came from me from inspiration. I will
Okay.
tell you, I at some point I did decide to do the 10K and a half. And
Yeah.
there was a group of 5 of us who went to
Uh-huh.
Disney World. And I think it was in like 2016 is when we went.
Okay.
And they ran what was called a dopey challenge.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It-
yeah, yeah. They
you know
did.
what dopey
Yeah,
is?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there was 4 women. It was 4 other women and it was me. And I was going and I was proud because I'm going and running my 5 and 10K.
Mhm.
They were going to run Dopey, which was a whole nother level of
Oh,
running.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I remember seeing them the first day they put the medal around their neck, they got the 5K. The second day
Yeah.
they did the 10K.
Yeah.
The third day they did the half. And I was like, y'all ran a 5K, 10K, and a half back to back. And you're about to go run a full the fourth day?
Yes.
So when they got done with the fourth day, they came back and they had 6 medals.
They were
And
shining on you. They were shining.
yes,
No,
and
no,
they were shot. Me and my
I ran the Orlando Marathon and felt naked with my one medal as I'm
yeah,
watching
because
everybody walk around.
everybody else got 6 medals. So we out here taking a picture. At the end, I got my 2 medals and they got 6. They
Yeah.
blinging from left to right.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember sitting back. But what was different for me is I had never studied the full distance. I had never studied the
Yeah.
26.2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When we got to Disney World, it was predominantly white people running.
Yep. Yep.
So to
Yep.
see 4 sisters walk up
Mhm.
there and get that done,
Come
I
on.
said, "I wanna be like you." See, so
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I'm inspired and I was like, "One day Imma come back and
Mm.
I'm gonna do this. I don't know when it's gonna be. It's not gonna be right now, but I said,
Right.
I wanna come back and I wanna do this. And I meant that. And
Yeah.
so when I came back home, I said, I'm gonna train. And I got ready to do, I think it was the half at that point. I
Okay.
wanted to focus on the half and really like lock in.
Yeah.
And so I got to the half and I tell people I'm not fast. My first half, I think, was a 3:30. And there are
Mm.
people who run fat fools faster than that.
Right,
Um, so
right.
you know, it just was what it was. My first half, I was just trying to understand the distance of
Yeah.
13.1. And so I ran it and I came back and I was training and training. And then I got to I think it was 2019. And I said,
Mm.
I think I want to try my first full.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I said, I think I want to try my first full. And at the time I didn't understand what the training was going to require. Cause I'll tell anybody right now, it's not the day of the race, it's the training that
Oh,
goes
yeah.
before the day of the
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah.
that level of commitment is
Well,
crazy. Like
and
you bumping.
that's my next question. So when you decided to do this marathon, let's talk about training. Like what did it teach you and what did you get yourself involved
Mhm.
in regards to training for your first marathon?
Okay, so the first thing that I had to realize is training for a full is different from a half because you're doubling your mileage at that
Yep.
point. And
Yep.
your Saturdays or Sundays, whatever day you want to do your long runs on, they are gone at this point
Oh,
because you're
yeah.
going to be training consistently week after week after week
Yep.
after week after week. And so I had to sit down and I had to get an actual training plan. And at the
Mhm.
time, I had 3 daughters at home with me. It was
Oh, my.
single mom, so I'm mommying. Like
Wow.
I'm literally kids are at their cheer practice and I'm out there running
Running on the
outside
side.
while
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
micro you having
Yeah.
to manage.
Yeah.
And I'm coaching at work. So I'm a coach at the high school that I teach at.
Oh,
And
wow.
so sometimes during my lunch prep periods, I'm going around the school just trying to log those miles because you're logging anywhere. When you're first starting, you might be logging 30 miles a week.
Yep.
We're not even gonna talk about when we get into majors what that looks like.
Yep.
So I'm trying to balance being mama, being coach, being teacher, and do these miles. And sometimes it got to be a lot. I'm not gonna kid you, but
Mhm.
the vision of being able to cross that finish line kept me going.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
though the training, I had to set it up on a schedule every week. And I really had to like write down, figure out what's gonna work. And I had to stick to that schedule because the time was so limited.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's so much time you have to invest that you have to figure
So
that
so
out.
what was the hardest part of that? Was it managing the schedule? Was it like injuries? Was it the mental battles? Like what was the hardest part of training?
In 2019, it was the time. It
Time.
was the time.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, because that balancing was no joke.
No, I
Everybody
adopted
had
I
something different
adopted
to
my
do.
nephew in
Uh-huh.
senior it was his senior year when I did it, and
Yes.
I lived in parking lots. I
Yes, yes.
I
Yes,
I
you do. You
lived in
do.
parking lots,
You
so
do.
I can imagine trying to train for a marathon while juggling. I just had him, and you got 3
I had 3.
3
I
kids,
had
so,
3.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yes,
that's
indeed.
you deserve a medal for that as well. For sure, for sure. Okay, so let's take me to race day of your first marathon. Like
Okay.
you've done the
Yeah.
half, you've got that under your belt. This is the first time that you're going to tackle this. And which marathon was it? Was your
It was
first
the
marathon?
Walt Disney World Marathon.
Oh, you did the what? Oh my, yeah. Listen.
I went back. I did it. Yep.
So what were the feelings, or what was going through your head race day and you going up and finally about to tackle this big obstacle?
So I'd done a 22.5 mile run before.
Hmm.
And the intention of that, the reason why we did that is because we wanted to let's work out those kinks of that 20 miler. Like
Yeah.
we're not going to allow this wall to hit. Let's go ahead and
Hmm.
do that. So I done a 22 miler.
Hmm.
But the hardest part about that race day is we got to Orlando, Florida, and they started talking about the weather was going to be hot. So
Mm.
now I'm coming from
Yep.
running in 50-degree weathers, which is still kind of warm, 40
Yeah.
degree. Now I'm showing up and it's 80 degrees
Oh,
in
yeah.
Orlando.
Orlando. Yeah,
Yes. It's 80 degrees.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they got all these. So I think we got the black flag that day. So they got the different levels, and I think it was black. So it was so warm and humid. They were gonna have to actually move our race up an
Oh,
hour
wow.
earlier. So and Disney starts at the crack of dawn as it
Oh,
is.
yeah,
So we're
yeah.
having to be up there at 3:45 to start at 4:30, which I
Oof.
was grateful for. We're going early, but it's early in the day and it is still humid outside at
Mhm,
4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So for
mhm.
us, they were coming in before we even got started and said, "This is not a PR race. Please be careful.
Yep.
If you need to exit the course, please do." And this is your first marathon, and you're getting all of these warnings,
Right,
and you like,
right.
do we need to pull out right now? Like, just tell me, because I didn't come here to
Severe
pass
health
out.
warnings before the start, but hey, have
Yes,
fun, guys.
have fun. So yes, it was scary, not because of the distance, but because of all of the weather
Yeah,
issues.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
our first marathon, it was 80 some degrees. So we showed up kind of nervous. We
Uh-huh.
showed up kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you, I guess, describe those first few steps of you starting the race, and it's like, okay, the roller coaster begins. Like, what were
Uh-huh.
what were some of the feelings that were going through your body at that particular moment?
I was
Um,
I was ready. Mentally, I was like,
okay,
I'm ready.
yeah,
I'm nervous, but I'm ready. I had done the work. I had done the training. I did my miles. I had hydrated. I had eaten. I had done everything that I could have done.
yeah.
So I showed up and I was like, let's go. I'm ready to
Okay,
see what this is all about. I've heard about it. Now I'm fixing to walk
let's
in.
go,
Let's see
let's
what's going to
go,
happen.
let's go. Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's
let's
go. I was nervous, but I was kind of hyped. I
so
was okay.
So let's get into the nitty gritty as far as that mile 20 moment. Every
Okay.
every every marathoner and every race is different, but it comes to a point where a part of the race where everything in you, your mind, body, and soul
Hmm.
begins to attack you and begins to tell you to quit, to stop, or like I like to say, the bully from 8th grade all of a sudden pops up in
Hmm.
front of your head. What was that moment for you during this race? Or if there
During
was
the
one?
during the Disney I got to mile 20. I said, damn it, I'm done running. And I walked. I I did. No lie. It had gotten hot. The sun was beaming. I listen, people had been passing out, and I was just
Wait,
like,
wait, wait. You said people have passed out already.
people
Like
had
you're
passed out. Like
wow.
literally, we were seeing people like they were having to provide aid to people on the sides. And we were at 20, it was hot, people was passing out, they were still saying, be cautious, it's hot. I said, damn, I'm done running. And I meant it. I did not run at all the last 6.2. I didn't. I was okay. I
But
was
it,
okay. I was like,
right.
I'm gonna finish.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna finish, but I'm done running. My first marathon, I did not run it all the way through. And I tell anybody, we walked the entire last part past when we hit 20, in my mind, I was done running. I
I
had
mean,
run what I was running and it was a wrap. It was a
I
wrap.
mean, if I see somebody, if they carry people off in gurneys, I think I
Yes.
might, I might want to slow down too. I think
It
I'm,
does something to you mentally. And
I'm
then
sure.
and by this time, I think it's like 9, 10 o'clock. Like
Oh,
it's not
oh
early
yeah,
anymore. We
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end now.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
no, I was over it.
yeah.
I was
Okay.
over it. And it wasn't that I didn't think I was gonna finish, it's just that I wasn't running no more.
Yeah, no,
I
I
wasn't
got
doing
you.
it
So
no
my
more.
next question is, how did it feel to finally cross the finish line after you seen dead bodies
Mhm, mhm.
sprawled on the way? How did it feel when you finally crossed the finish line?
Earlier this year, I had a video that I played back. I sent it to
Mm,
my daughters and I said,
yeah.
"Y'all look at me right after I got done with the marathon and, my first marathon." And my
Mm.
word for word, I said, "It's done, and I ain't doing this no more." I I was like, "It's a wrap. Y'all can have this distance." Because I was like, "This is foolish. Like, why are we running 26.2 miles? This is crazy." I just was like, "I don't know why people do it. I don't know." I wasn't impressed with the training. I wasn't impressed with the run. Why are we still doing this? I have my one medal. It's a wrap. I said, "I'm not doing this no more.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
not doing it
I'm
anymore."
I'm laughing. I'm laughing so hard just because for one, that's usually how everybody's over it. As soon as you cross the finish line, you
Mhm.
got this enjoyment. I did it, but you like, I don't want to do it again.
Nope.
But as I'm laughing, I'm just recalling all of these running accolades that you've accomplished.
Yes.
that you've accomplished
That
where
lasted 5
that
minutes.
I was
It lasted 5 minutes. Mhm.
that post run clarity, boy, it'll get you
Real.
every time. It'll get you
It's
every
real.
time. So, all right, so I would love to. So, piggybacking off of you declaring you never doing this again,
Mhm.
to you've accomplished something that only two women, two black women in Arkansas have
Yes.
ever done, which is complete the majors.
Yes.
How do you go from how do you go from, hey, I have this it, that's it, y'all. That's it. Grand opening, grand closing
Yeah.
to you doing something that 0.1 0.000000, I don't know the exact number,
Mhm.
but so far few have done it. How did you get from that moment to that?
I think what happens is I'm very much a person who watches what others do in terms
Mhm,
of the sport,
mhm,
and I'm easily inspired by some things.
mhm.
And so when I started to learn about the whole major thing, because in 2020, at the beginning, I didn't even know. When I say I didn't really study the sport, I really didn't
And
initially.
it wasn't really popular either. Like
It
you
wasn't.
couldn't
It
find like
wasn't.
clips on social media. Like it was the wild
No.
wild west. It was like you learned as you go. So no, I definitely know.
Absolutely. So what I think happens is somebody in our run crew talked about Chicago. Like I didn't even know
Mm.
that we had members of our run crew that had actually run some of the majors prior
Oh
to that
wow.
point. And I think what happens is after COVID, when you started creating these group me systems and you
Mm.
create ways that we can stay in touch with each other, you start to see more of other people's journeys. So
Hmm.
I think what I did was I was able to see like other people and what they were doing, even in our run club where I wasn't able to see it at first. And so when they released Chicago's lottery process, I was like,
Mhm.
what is this? What is this whole Chicago marathon? And
Right.
why is it so big on social media right now? And
Mhm.
that's when I began to learn about the majors. And so I was like, you know what? I said I wasn't gonna do another full, but now I feel like it wasn't
Traveling the
so
world.
bad. Yeah. And so what I ended up doing was I went and read about Chicago and then I applied and I was like, if I get in, cool. If I don't, then
Right,
no.
right,
And I got
right,
in.
right, 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 right.
So I go and I run Chicago. I go through my training season in the
Yeah,
summer. I run Chicago,
yeah,
do pretty well with Chicago.
yeah.
And then the next year, no, later that year. So I have a running coach. I think it's
Mhm,
important to have a coach with this running thing.
mhm, mhm.
Because I needed to understand how to run these marathons beyond just the numbers.
Yeah,
I needed to know how to run the numbers. So
yeah.
I got a coach, and my coach got me plugged in for Boston. So for
Nice.
me, Boston was my second world major. And
Okay,
once I
okay.
got into Boston and I experienced the black unicorns and I saw what it was like to run that course,
Yeah.
and I saw all the people on the sidelines and they were cheering, and all of the people who stopped you and was like, oh my goodness, you ran Boston. That's when the majors became a priority for me.
Wow,
It wasn't
wow,
until after I finished Boston.
wow, wow.
And so I
And
got
which
into
and which
Boston.
were yeah, which one were after? Please go down. You do Chicago, you do Boston,
Uh-huh.
then which one do you do next?
So I do Chicago, I do Boston, then I get back into Chicago again in
Okay,
22.
okay, okay.
I run Chicago a second time.
Yeah.
And then 23 loads. I think in 23 I ran no, I go back and I run Dopey. I forgot that. I do Dopey
Okay,
in 2022. So I go
okay.
back and I run all four races because I
Yeah,
said one day I wanted to do it.
yeah,
So I go
yeah,
back in
yeah.
22 and I run Dopey and then I run Little Rock and then I run Boston in
Oof.
22. So that was 3 marathons in the beginning of 2022.
Yeah, yeah,
Then that fall, I run Chicago. So
yeah,
that gives me 4 marathons, I think, that year. And then I come out of 22 and 23 loads.
yeah.
So 23 is when it all hits because in 23, I get into Berlin,
Oof.
then I get into Chicago.
Yeah.
They are 2 weeks apart, and
Yep.
then I get into New York.
Oh.
So I run th I get I so we go into 23 and I got 3 marathons loading in sit for a 6-week time frame. And
Oof.
that's when this whole marathon thing changed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now I've got my coach in. My coach is like, "Are you sure you wanna do these 3? Like, it's gonna take another level of you to
Yeah.
do these 3." I said, "Well, you know what? Let's go." And
Yeah.
so, we have to switch up our training because now it's not gonna be just running 3 marathons back to back. It's gonna be running 3 marathons back to back, but also traveling and also trying not to get injured in the
Correct.
process.
Correct. Correct.
Because, I'm a little heavier runner, like, I'm not the little 120-pound runner, like, it's not that, it's not that. And I'm not the best about stretching before and after,
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
I had to
Uh-huh.
kinda change what I was doing, like, my whole mentality had to change because now I'm about to take this huge challenge on and take all these races on, and, we've gotta make it through the summer of training, and then we've gotta deliver in these
Yep.
races, so
Yep.
my coach comes to me, and we set up this whole training program, and it's just like, "Okay, you're gonna go to Berlin, and you just trying to get it done. You don't have to try to do anything
Yep.
incredible. Berlin, we just wanna check the box." So
Yep.
we check the box of Berlin. Then we get to Chicago. I wanted to try to PR. Coach was like, "Absolutely not. You got New York on the back in the
Right.
background."
Right.
So I get to Chicago. I run it easy again. This is my third Chicago. And
Mhm.
then here comes New York creeping up like a big bad wolf. Let me tell you. Oh, New York. I felt like New York was staring at me and saying, bring it. And it was
Yeah.
by far the hardest race I have ever ran in my life.
Really? Really?
Absolutely. Yes.
Really? And why? Because I've
New
I've ran New York 3 times. I've ran New York 3 times. I
New
love
York
New
is
York.
crazy.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's
It ain't that
I
many boroughs and
yes.
bridges in the world, but they in New York. If there's a lot, listen, if we got 1,999 sitting in New York and they're right there ready for you to run them. It was
Yeah.
the toughest race I've ever had in my life.
Wow, wow.
It
Yeah, no, the,
was.
the bridges, the bridges are definitely intense,
Yeah.
to say the least. The fanfare is bar bar none. Yeah, no, New York is I always tell everyone they have to experience New York at least once. At
Oh my god.
least once. So it was your most difficult marathon out of those. You run
Yes.
New York, and then where do you go after that?
Well, let me tell you about New York real quick. So New
Okay,
York,
okay.
so when people talk about walls, so walls change for people. So
Hmm.
when you first start running, walls are where you're trying to convince yourself you can keep going.
Hmm.
After you've ran 10, 12, 15, 20 marathons, a wall becomes when you have the mental fight on whether or not you can finish the way you want to.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
for me, a wall hit big time in New York. And
Really.
I remember like again, I never thought I couldn't finish New York, but I was battling in my head, can I finish it the way I want to?
Yep.
Because my
Yep.
body is telling me this is your third marathon. You're not gonna run it like you would on fresh legs.
Yeah.
My body was telling me that's not happening today. But I
Yeah.
was fighting with my body that I gotta, no, I'm trying to perform on these hills and these bridges. And my body was saying, no, you're not today. And so I can remember getting to mile. I'm okay at the beginning because it's a little downhill at the beginning. But
yeah.
I got to mile 16 and I started walking. And I was like, uh-oh, this is early to start walking. Like
Yeah.
I'm at mile 16 and I'm just like, it's like I'm running out of gas. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I need to switch to intervals at this point because I don't have the full tank anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just making my way. And I saw some people, some friends that I knew I felt like I was faster than coming past me. And I was like,
Yeah.
you losing it. You losing it. And so
That's
I was like, ain't no way this is happening. No,
right. Right.
I just was like, not in New York. But it was whipping me.
Yeah.
It was. And my body, I didn't want to listen to my body. Like I was
Yeah.
like, no, we have to still push. And my body finally just said, no, we don't. No, we don't care. And so I'm making my way. I'm walking, I'm running, I'm switching the intervals. And I get to mile 20 again. And at mile 20, I made the decision, you know what? Just finish.
That's
Just
right.
finish. And I think I got to like mile 24 and I picked up the phone. I FaceTime my coach. Now he's down there running. He's already ran, gone back to the hotel, changed clothes and everything else. I call him on FaceTime and I'm just like, this is stupid. I can't finish. It just was crazy. So I was having my moment
So you
again
was in the
about this.
Bronx at that
This
point.
is
At mile
stupid.
24, you in the Bronx. Yeah, yeah, you in the Bronx.
I'm there and I know I'm close, but this race won't end. And
yeah.
I'm ready for it to be done.
Yeah.
These little hills ain't stopping. Like when does it stop? And so I was on the FaceTime with him and I was like, this is crazy. I'm struggling. And he was like, dude, he was like, you at the end, suck it up, get to the end and finish all the things and don't stop running. I was like, well, we passed that because I've been intervaling for the last few miles. And he was like, dude, get yourself together and get on off them folks' road. And I was
right.
just like, dude. And he was
Get
like,
off the folks road.
get off them people's road. And I just was like,
That's
Philip,
funny.
I was like, dude, I'm like losing it out here. And he told me, he said, I never will forget it. He said, you need to run like New Edition is at the finish line. And I was like, oh, let's go then. Let's go.
oh,
And my
that's
legs said, it
funny.
don't even matter. Not even for Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph,
Oh,
or
that's what.
Johnny. Are you about to run this the way that you wanted to? And I just, I ended up just trying to kind of finish it in a decent time. But I had to make a second phone call because I have another strength training coach. And I was
You
like,
made another
I
call.
had to have two because one of them, my run coach is no nonsense. And he's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
suck it
yeah.
up, get over it,
Yeah,
finish it.
yeah.
My strength training coach is just like, you ain't got nothing to prove. It's all good.
he was
Just
a little
keep
more
going.
softer. Right, right, right.
He's the softer version, and I needed the softer version for a minute.
right,
And
right, right.
so, he's just like, come on, just finish, Shell. You did it. You did it.
Right.
And so I crossed it. I'm not gonna lie, running in that park at the end was the longest mile I ever seen in my
oh
life.
no, that's when you finish the walk
Yes.
from the finish line to when you exit the marathon is hell.
It's hey.
It is
And
hell.
but once I got that medal on, I felt so good. But I was like, New York is I love the crowd, but this course is the devil.
Yeah.
And it was just, and to this day, New York has been the absolute hardest race I've ever ran. And I'm trying to get in for a second round though.
Come
'Cause I
on, I
need
know.
another.
I
I need
need
a
to
round
listen.
two in New York.
I feel that. Like, I see. I ran my first marathon, and it was the most. It was about 15 people in this marathon. There was no fanfare. It's a rinky-dink race, and I
Okay.
broke my foot on mile 22, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I
Yeah.
finished, and it kicked my butt so bad that that's when I decided I was going to run 4 and 5 months. So I ran New York, I ran Miami, I ran Disney, and I ran LA in
Okay.
those 5 months. So I know the challenges of
Yeah.
running these back. Not as in 3 weeks though. Like that's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, it is
So
crazy.
I can imagine how New York was on you because you had just
Mhm.
finished two other ones two
Yes.
weeks,
Yes.
2 or 3 weeks prior. So I feel strongly that you're gonna do a lot better your next
Yeah.
time in New
I
York
w
because New York
I
is
want New
fun,
York
man.
again.
New
Yeah.
York is New York is fun. The bridges and the hills are treacherous, but man, I've like I said, I've done Chicago, I've done Berlin, um,
Mhm.
but New York by far is still my
Was
favorite
it your hardest,
marathon.
you think? Do you
You
think
know
it was
what?
the hardest?
I was so naive on
Okay.
even running marathons. It was my first marathon. Oh no, it was my second marathon. So
Okay.
nothing has been harder than my first one because I ran with a broke foot. So
Yeah.
nothing like
Yeah.
nothing compares to that one.
Uh-huh.
Although there were hills and all these other things, it was actually, yeah, I didn't really feel it. I didn't really feel that it was this difficult sort of course because I had no clue. And I'm a person that I don't look at the courses. If that
Mhm.
makes like I don't any marathon I
I
run,
don't either.
I don't want to
I
know.
don't either.
I gotta deal with it regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
I like to experience on a day. I don't want to get in my head about anything about the course.
Yes.
It's what happens happens.
Yes.
So yeah, no, but oddly enough, Chicago was probably one of my roughest marathons ever.
Really?
Yes, but that had nothing to do with physical. I lost my phone
Ah,
at mile
okay.
12 and I
Okay.
had no music
So you ran
for
unplugged, and that was the issue.
it
Okay.
was
Okay.
whoa,
Okay.
whoa. I was not ready. I wasn't ready for myself. I feel like I
Okay.
wasn't. It had nothing.
Alright.
My body was fine. I was walking. I don't never walk. I was
Okay.
walking. I was pouting. I did not. I was over the race. I said, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I'm just mobbing up there. It was Chicago was hilarious. It was a fan of mine's. I apologize to him if he ever sees this. He was like, "Hey man, ain't you the dude from the TV?" I was like, "Man, I miss me with all that." I was so pissed. I'm like, man, I ain't
Okay.
got time for all that. But Chicago actually was probably one of my toughest. In Berlin, weirdly enough, in Berlin's
Yeah.
flat. Yeah,
Why
Berlin is
did you
flat.
why was Berlin tough for you?
Dehydrated,
Yeah.
dehydrated.
Yeah.
We started later. It was similar to like the Orlando. It got
Mhm.
hot that day. It was like
Okay.
80 degrees or something like that. It was ridiculous. And I didn't take any heed to that. And I'm running. And by mile 14, I'm just sweating way more than I usually sweat. And by
Yes.
mile 14, I just started feeling sleepy. And I said,
Okay.
"Wait a minute. That's not
It's
good. If
different.
I'm
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
I should
Sleepy
not
is
be
different.
sleepy and running at the same time. That's not supposed to go together."
Yeah.
So at the end of I found I was extremely dehydrated. I finished it, but when I got to the end, both of my legs cramped up. My legs never cramp. Both my whole
Mhm.
body felt like it cramped up. I was laid out on where they give out the water. I was
Mhm.
laid on the table and I said, "Please forgive me." I literally was laid out on the table with like, "Yo, and I was drinking cups of water and it was going into a black hole. I drank about
Yeah.
10 of them and
You
it
couldn't
was
get it.
doing nothing. It was doing nothing. And yeah, I had to basically like sit for like 20, 30 minutes wait for all the cramping to stop. Like to
What
stop.
year did you run Berlin?
Ooh, what year was it? I'm trying to. It's up there. I'm gonna go check. Hold up. 2024.
24. Okay, yeah, you were the
Yeah.
year after me. We had a very similar experience.
Oh,
It was
really?
just yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
And we started late. Like we didn't get out to the. We didn't start running until like 11 o'clock.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like it was
Well, it wasn't
11.
that late for us,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it definitely was warm that year. It was
Yeah, we started
unseasonably
late.
warm.
We started
Mhm.
we started extremely late, which was fascinating because I'm like, I'm used to running at like 7 a.m. Like we in the
Yes. Yes.
afternoon, the sun is right above us,
Mhm.
and I took off because it was flat. It was flat. That's what
Yeah.
everybody does wrong in Berlin. You go come off too fast. I came out too fast, and yeah, it was
Yeah.
by mile 20. I was walking, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want. I don't want to do. But I will say, I did. I just finished running Vegas, and that was the first race I ever tried to PR, and I got a 3:30. So, yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yes,
looking to
indeed.
sub 3 this year. I'm aiming for Barcelona, and then I got Sydney. So,
Okay.
I got 2 shots at going for that sub 3. But yeah, no. Your story is incredible. So let me ask this last question. Um, how do you think running has changed you outside of the sport?
How has running You know, one thing about it, we talk about doing all of these marathons, but I think
Mhm.
that I've learned life is truly a marathon and not a sprint from
Mhm.
this. And much like the running journey, you know, every day is different. Every race is different. You can walk in and you can be as prepared as you possibly can. And something in a race throws you a curveball and you have to adjust. And that's
Mhm.
life. You know, life throws all kinds of curveballs at you. Um, and sometimes you can easily navigate them, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's a struggle with it, but you have to adapt. And so this process has taught me that you also have to work for things.
Mm.
You have to be committed. You also have to know that people watch you.
Mhm.
People are paying attention to you that you don't even know.
Mm.
People know who you are, and you don't have any idea who they are. People are
Mm.
inspired by you daily. People use you as a gauge for whether or not they're doing well.
Mm.
So this journey has taught me so much about life. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to even be able to do this.
Come
I'm
on.
grateful for being able to move my limbs. Last year, I was in a boot coming out of London. I was in a
Wow.
boot and I had to pause. And then I was able to resume my running season. But there are some people who have to pause and they can't get back to running. They have to give
Yeah.
it up. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for being able to still run. I'm grateful, just for being here. You know, some of my classmates aren't here.
Amen to
I'm
that.
glad to not only be able to do this, but just be able to be here, inspire, and to just be able to accomplish dreams outside of running and inside of running. So this journey has truly taught me that, you know, life, you know, you sometimes have to go with the ebbs and flows of life and you have to be grateful for all that's being given to you. And
Yeah.
I truly am grateful for it all. I'm
That's
grateful for
beautiful.
it all,
That's
good and
beautiful.
bad.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
Thanks.
and and what advice would you give to someone that is on the fence, that is considering running a marathon? What would be your biggest tip to them?
Go for it. Go
Come
for it.
on.
Go for it. You know, you won't know unless you try.
Yeah.
You won't.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a journey. And I promise you, it's one of those journeys that once you're able to achieve it, you're proud of yourself.
Mm.
You're proud of yourself. And I always tell people, don't be messed up about people in their time. Like don't watch other people in their journey and
Yep.
look at it and say, you know what, they're doing their marathons in 2 hours and 21 minutes and they're doing theirs in 4, but I do mine's in 6. You know, I pace all the time. And when I
Mhm.
pace, I choose to pace what they call the back of the pack. And I
Mhm.
do that because I want the 6 hours. I've even done a 6.5 before. Give me the
Yeah.
6 hours, the 5:40s, the 6:30s, because I want to be there with them as they go through this journey, you know, where they
Yep.
start off nervous and they
Mhm.
are going through the process of every different emotion that comes with running 26.2. including the overwhelming feeling when they finish.
Yeah.
So I'd encourage them to go for it. Go for it, enjoy the journey, give it what you have to give, and then when you finish, be excited and be proud because you finished the way you
Come
wanted to.
on. Come on. All right.
Come on.
So we gonna do this last speed segment. It's called it's the knees out speed questions. That's my running crew, the knees out coalition.
Okay.
So there is one word answers, but you can always elaborate. It's knees out means yes, and knees in means no. Now, did you ever think about quitting during training, but you still showed up for yourself?
Knees out.
All right. All right. Do you believe that everyone has at least one marathon in them?
Knees in.
Okay. Okay.
Not
Good. Good.
everyone.
Good. Yeah. Yes. It's fascinating how so many people have to pause at that question.
Uh-huh.
Like everybody, wait a minute. So, all right. All right. So is the marathon more mental or physical?
Oh, knees out. It's more mental. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Mental.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you run? So you ran marathons. Let me ask this one. Would you run an ultra?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
One. One.
Same.
One and
I'm on that
done.
same boat. I'm on that same boat. I'm on
And
that
listen,
same.
it can be 26.5 miles, and I'm gonna
Right.
call it an ultra, and I'm gonna take it.
Right.
One.
Right. All right. So, do you think running can change a person outside of the sport?
Knees out.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time. You are a true inspiration.
Amen.
Your story, your journey, is wow. In finding out you're a mother of three as well, single mother. I was raised by a single black woman, and she is my superhero. And I'm sure you are a superhero to many as you are to me. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. This is another episode of Mal 20 Mindset. Everyone, please follow and subscribe. Peace, y'all.